Hello and welcome to this beginner's guide to starting Farming Simulator. So in the video today we are going to look at the starter menu here. We'll then load up a game, so you'll get to see the three different options and we'll go through what each mean before we get into it. Once we're on the map, what we'll do is we'll show you how to start the tutorial, which you should probably do if you're just new to the game. Then we'll go through the menu when you are in game as well and go through all the points on that. So let's get started. So the opening menu is fairly self-explanatory. Obviously quit is to quit the game. Credits is credits to the geniuses who made this. Options, we have several different things on the options tab that you can look at for your general settings, your display settings, keybinds if you want to change it, and then other bits and pieces as well. Then we have an achievement. So if you're an achievement hunter, this is where you want to come and see what achievements you have done or what ones you've still got to do. They don't really give you much detail of what they are, but I'm sure there are places online where you can find out what you have to do for them. As you can see, I've been playing almost 1,000 hours on Farming Simulator 22, and I have not done them all. I'm not really an achievement hunter. Next up, we have downloadable content. This is the mod hub. So the mod hub has additional features for the game, from vehicles to new maps, to new productions, to new scripts to change gameplay things, tons and tons of stuff. If you are new to the game, I would avoid the majority of mods. I would just focus on the base game to start with until you're comfortable with it, and then come here. If you want some special tractors to play with to start with, or other machines, that's fine. Do that. I would avoid going for a new map straight away as well until you have gone through the tutorial on a base game map. It just makes life a lot easier in the long run if you've got that base of knowledge to start with. And definitely avoid the gameplay changes and things unless you're fully aware of what they're going to do. So then we have multiplayer, which is another option that you can do on Farming Simulator 22. You can join a game that a friend or someone else has got, you can create one, rent a dedicated server, and then these competitive modes, which I've never actually played or touched upon. I don't know enough to teach you about them, so you might want to look somewhere else if you need to know about them. And then finally, career. So this is where we're going to go now, and we're going to go through the options of starting a farm. So once you hit career, you come through to the game saves menu, and you just want to pick a slot, hit continue. Then we come to career mode. So there's three, it says levels, easy, medium and hard. It's not really like that because you can amend everything on game. It's more to do with what you start with and how that's set up to start with. So new farmer, you get all your equipment, you get land, and you get 100,000. It's on easy economy, so you get the most for your products when you sell them. And then there's a few other settings that are set up to make it a little bit user-friendly. Farm manager, you get 1.5 million, which is a lot of money. But you don't get any land or vehicles, so you have to purchase them. Your economy is set to normal, so your stuff sells for a little bit less than on easy. And some other things are turned on to make it more realistic. And then you get start from scratch, which you get 500,000. But you're also in 200,000 of debt. You don't get anything. You've got to buy everything. And you are on hard economy, so you get the least amount for selling your products. And pretty much every feature is turned on to make it as realistic as possible. So if you're just new to the game, I would just go with new farmer. You can amend and change things all you want, but for just learning the game and the basics of the game, new farmer. So that's what we are going to do. And we're just going to go in Elms Creek. And then you come to mods and DLCs. If you've not got anything downloaded, or if you've just got sort of like the premium pack or anything like that put on, it'll show up here. We're just going to deselect everything and start. 100%, start the game. Once you hit start, you can customize your character to whatever you want. Tons of different options. Knock yourself out, do what you want, and then just confirm. And this is an important bit when you first load up. It says, would you like to do this short guided tour? I would highly recommend that you do that because it'll take you through some of the features that the game has to offer. You just want to hit yes, and then it'll start the guided tour automatically. So you just have to read down below, hit OK, and then you just kind of follow these exclamation marks around, or there'll be green pillars to show you where to go. So it's literally a beam of light that shines right up into the sky. I would definitely recommend starting by doing the tutorial, because it literally takes you through step by step. You to kind of start what to do. I'm not going to go through the tutorial today, but yeah, I would highly recommend doing the guided tour before you start doing anything. Also, when you first go on a map, sometimes it can be a bit like stuttery and things. If you just kind of run around and sort of spin around, it eases that. It's just the sort of the game loading up. So don't worry if it starts stuttering to start with every time you load into a map. It's nothing to worry about. So once you've done the tutorial, I would definitely go through the whole tutorial before you start doing anything else, just to make sure you've got what you need to get. Then you can start looking at the menu. So we'll pull that up. Obviously this is saying the guided tour because we're still kind of on it, and you just kind of follow the points there. That disappears once you've done it. So I'm going to abort it so it disappears. And then we're just going to go into the menu. So the first item on the menu, the symbol is the map. So on the map, you get other filters here as well. So this shows you what's growing in each field. You can tag them, toggle them, whatever you want to call it, on and off to see what's growing in each field in terms of product. You can go across to growth. So this tells you what the field condition is. So a cultivated field needs something planted in it. Cloud field needs cultivated or something planted in it. And then a field that is orange, ready to harvest. Those are kind of the basic ones. The sort of tutorial will go through most of this as well and show you like what you need to do on each stage. Then you get soil composition, which is basically telling you what you need to do on the field. So if it needs weeded, needs stones picked up, mulched, needs rolling, needs lime, fertilized. Again, this will melt your mind if you're not new, if you're totally new to the game. If you just focus on getting the sort of the seeds into the ground to start with, that's all you need to worry about. Adding these things on next harvest, something like that, is probably the best way to do it. But yeah, this is where you see everything on this map. And the next one along is hotspots. So productions, loading stations, tools that you've got lying around will flag up and things on the map. Toggle them and things, take them all off just to see if you can find your stuff and where you need to go to drop things off and all that lovely stuff. So next, this is the active workers. So this is kind of like if you've got AI doing a job for you, which I'll show you how to do in the tutorial. But then if you're wanting something delivered somewhere, you can set destination, click on the map, and it'll take you to where it needs to go. That should set off and go to there. And this one as well, you can create a job, you can deliver it to places if you've got a trailer on and stuff. It works loosely. It's not the best and it can be frustrating, but it does work if you want to save some time just sending people to, or sending a worker, sorry, to somewhere on the map to save you a bit of time. Then we have the calendar. So this is important if you have on seasonal growth, which all games start with seasonal growth on. You can turn it off. We'll get to that when we get to the settings bit. Seasonal growth is basically following the calendar of the year. You can plant and harvest at certain times in the year. So when you load up, you'll start in August. So the only thing you can actually plant in August is canola. Or you can plant poplars, which you won't have the machinery for. You can plant grass, but again, you don't have the machinery for that when you start. Or oilseed radish, which actually applies a fertilizer station, but don't worry about that. So the main thing you can plant is canola, or you can wait to September and put in some wheat and barley if you so wish. Or just wait it out till March, get other bits and pieces done, do some contracts, and then you can plant everything else in sort of springtime. So next we have weather. Now, weather doesn't really have an effect apart from rain. So temperature makes no difference. All you're worried about is rain. If it's raining when you're harvesting, it's going to cause you issues with your yield. So just don't. It's pretty simple, just don't if you can avoid it. Like if you're running out of time, it has to be done before it withers, then do it. But other than that, you shouldn't be in too much of a pinch with rain. And then we go on to our pricing and our sell points. So this gives you a list of all the products that you can sell or make on this map. And each one on the right shows you where you can sell it and for what price it is currently going for per 1,000 litres. This is per 1,000 litre pricing. And it shows you everywhere that you can sell these. And then you can click on these and tag them. So then it shoots up a big green line, like you see on your tutorial as well. And that's where you can deliver that to. Then we have the vehicle overview. The vehicle overview shows you every single vehicle or item that you own, or just say machinery that you own. It won't show you pallets and things like that. It tells you how long you've had them, how many operating hours they've had, their sort of maintenance level. This is for if you've leased the item, and this is if you've owned it. So if you're owning it, this is saying what they're actually worth now. This screen is good for tracking your maintenance if you need to get things fixed and things like that. You do want to try and keep your maintenance semi-high. I don't know. I usually normally let mine go down to about 20%, 40% sometimes before I fix it. If you don't fix it, what happens is it'll make your tractors more inefficient. You won't get the full horsepower from it, things like that. So it's good to keep your maintenance at a decent level. Next, we have the financial overview, which just shows you all your spending and your income. You can also take out loans. You can borrow up to 5,000 at a time. I think it's still related to how much you own as well against, it's like a percentage, how much you own land versus what you can borrow. This just gives you an idea of what your sort of costs are per month versus what you're bringing in per month. So it shows you if you've actually got a profitable farm or if you're going to go spiraling into debt. Animals, you need an animal pen to show the animals. That's a totally different video because animals is a totally different kind of thing, but we're just doing the basics. If you want to do animals, I would definitely still start with doing the tutorial and going through learning the basics of this first before you go into the animals, just so you get an idea, the gist of what is involved with Farming Simulator and things like that. Because a lot of the stuff you'll do in the tutorial will be sort of carry over to animals, grass work, and other things, even forestry, like contracts. So this is where you can do jobs for money for other farmers on the maps or AI NPCs. They have pretty much every job that you can do. You can lease the equipment. It'd be good if there was actually some that showed up so you could see it. Basically, it shows up and you can rent the equipment, which normally costs you about, I think it's about 8 or 9% of the total value you would get for the contract. I always like to do that rather than using my own equipment because it gives you an idea of you get to use other equipment to test it before you maybe buy it. It gives you other options. They can make a decent bit of money, so if you've got any downtime between doing things on your farm, you can do contracts. Production chains. With Farming Simulator 22, production chains were put in place. It's the first year that it's been put in place by giants. So they are kind of key to Farming Simulator 22. Again, I always class them as further down the line. So if you get your farming set up first and just selling your wheat, things like that, then look at like a progression onto the next thing would be productions. I would definitely just focus on making sure you're getting your crops in the ground, getting them out in an efficient manner before you start productions. Otherwise, you're just going to end up trying to spin far too many plates and they'll all come crashing down. Net statistics, this just goes through what you've been doing, various different things. And then we can up to general settings, game settings. So it's pretty detailed. It tells you everything on your right, what everything means. So this is the bit that's the sort of the biggest bit when it says like difficulties. It's economic difficulty. You've got easy, normal, and hard. Now the differences in price are quite drastic when you go up to hard from easy, but it doesn't really affect anything else. It's literally just the selling price of your product and sort of buying price of some of the products as well. If you're going to like buy things from a lime thing, like buying lime and things like that, it doesn't actually affect anything from the shop. There's only really stuff that you're selling you have to really be worried about. Just give you an example, that's on easy there. And our wheat is going for between 8 and 900. We come back, go on normal. Our wheat is now going about 500. So it's a fair step change just to normal. And then if you go to hard, it's selling for about 300. So it's quite a big drop. So you're definitely, if you're just starting, stick to easy. With Farming Simulator, you always get to a tipping point where your farm is going to be making money hand over fist. All changing this does is move that tipping point a bit closer so you can start doing more, and it allows you to have more freedom to make mistakes. If you're just starting, you're going to make mistakes. It doesn't matter if you've got experience in anything else. If you've not played this game before, you will make mistakes. So don't worry about it. Just stick it on easy. It's fun. Just do it to start with, and then start another map if you want to on something else. And you can change this anyway, so don't worry about it saying easy. It's not actually that easy. Traffic, you can turn it on or off. You'll learn quickly that traffic is annoying, so you might want to turn that off. Seasonal growth, so this is where you can turn it on and off. If you turn it off, the products still take, or the plants and things still take the same amount of time to grow. So wheat will still take like 4 months or whatever it is to grow. It doesn't speed it up in any way. Days per month just means how many days are in a month. Again, it does not speed up or shorten how fast things take to grow. If oats are supposed to take 4 months, for example, if you put it up to 28 days, it's still going to take 4 months. It's not going to take any more days or less days. It's based on month. So people seem to get confused with that, but it's based purely on month, not number of days. Number of days means nothing. It's just giving you more time to do all the tasks on your farm. Oh, we missed out. Speed. The timescale is always set to 5 times as a standard. When you open any map, you can change this. You can speed up time or slow it down. I think you can slow it down to real time. Yep, and then you actually go slower than real time, and then 360 is your fastest. I tend to stick about 3 to 5 most of the time when I play, and then 1 or 2 days, just depends how I'm getting on. Everyone has their each to their own preference. If you just start with 5, see how you get on with it, you can slow it, or you can, when you've got nothing else to do, there's nothing saying that you can't speed up time. So instead of doing contracts, just speed up time. If you don't want to work on someone else's farm, you can speed up time. It's not cheating, it's just how you want to play the game. Then we have, was it fixed visual for a month? Yeah, whether a specific month should always be visible. Turn off for dynamic visuals. Again, that'll just, so if you want to be on summer or whatever all the time, you can be. I've never actually touched that, so I don't really know what it fully does. Snow, so you can have no snow or snow. If you do have snow, it's pretty cool, but it is a bit slippy. And you feel it when you're driving on it. Now, this is where it gets to, like, where I think the difficulty or annoyance factor sometimes comes in. Crop destruction is always on regardless when you start on easy, medium or hard. So it basically means you can't drive over your own fields unless you have a specific tyre on or something like that. Periodic ploughing is off on easy, but is on the other ones. So periodic ploughing just means that you have to plough the field. I think it's every 3rd harvest. Some products you have to actually plough anyway after you've done them. But again, it will show you on the map if you need to plough it. You just have to check there to see what the field actually needs done once you've harvested it. Field stones, my biggest pet peeve is field stones. They're always on, you can turn them off. Again, that's just another stage. You don't have to do field stones even if it's on. It'll slightly damage your equipment and things like that. But you'll get used to that and you'll see it as you go through the game. Lime, again, another stage. You can turn it on and off. And weeds as well is something else that you could do. All these things, apart from field stones, if this is off, it doesn't affect your yield. If you turn it on and you don't do it, it will affect your yield. Same with lime and weeds. If it's on, it affects your yield and you should do it. If it's off and you don't want to do it, it's fine. But if it's on and you don't do it, it will affect your yield. So try and think, do I want to do weeds to start with? If I was starting fresh, straight out of the box, I would probably put some of these off and just focus on getting the crops in, getting the crops out. So I'd probably turn off fieldstones. I'd probably turn off lime, and I'd probably turn off weeds to start with, just so you're learning the basics. Because all these are kind of more advanced. These are just been put in the last, in FS22, fieldstones got added. I think weeds got added the year 19. Now, vehicle controls. Dirt goes up to high if you play on other difficulties as well, and then fuel usage goes up to high, sorry. That's the only difference there. Engine stop start, you can put it off. I normally have it off just so I don't leave. It's basically, if you jump in a tractor, it turns it on. If you're wanting to leave a tractor running to do something else, it goes off if you leave it, so it's up to you what you prefer. Stop and go braking, yep, that's a personal preference. Trailer fill limit, put this off. It's like a max, until max load weight. If your trailer says it's supposed to take 16,000 litres, but the max weight, it can't take that, so it's like variable volume, whereas in real life, everyone just fills their trailer to the top. Most people don't care about the weight on a tractor trailer. Fuel usage, you can turn up to high or low. And then AI workers. So if you've got an AI worker on, doing your planting and things like that, and then you have all this to buy, your money quite quickly disappears. So I would always recommend turning these off so that you're the one filling up with fuel, filling up with seeds, and filling up with fertilizer. It doesn't take long to do, and it's much more cost effective. This will just make your money disappear without even realizing it. So that's everything for game settings. Now we've got general settings. So help window. So help window is just the thing on the top left when you go onto the map. We'll just do it now. So that's where it says controls there. That is the help menu. I would strongly advise keeping the help menu on. You can turn it off whenever you want as well, but it's always good to have it on just to see what you're doing to start with. Color by mode. And these as well, interactive zone markers, just to show you where everything is until you've learned the map. These three, I always have field info on anyway. And then info trigger as well. So yeah, again, personal preference, but if you're starting off, we definitely have them on. Then you've got units, pounds, euros, dollars. Obviously I'm in the UK, we're in pounds. Measuring unit, miles, kilometers, temperatures, Celsius, Fahrenheit, acres, hectares. Again, whatever you want to have on. Radio in the vehicle if you want to have that on, and then it's just like different camera outputs and various things here. And next up, again, it's just a go through of your keyboard controls, or you've got a controller or whatever you're playing on. You can actually change it in game as opposed to the main menu as well. And then now we come to probably the most important bit, which is the help bit. Now, this is well worth the read just to go through it all, because it's got a plethora of information on what to do, how things got to work, all the way through it. So, yeah, seasonal, it's got everything loosely that you can go to. Shows you all the products, everything, yield boosting, farming basics, all this stuff. It is lots of information in it, and I would highly recommend going through it while you're sort of, maybe once you've done your tutorial, go and do this bit, and then it'll give you a rough idea of what you want to do. It does have a ton of information, and then if you can't find what you've done there, there's so much stuff on YouTube, there's so much stuff on the Giants Farming Simulator Academy on their website, which goes into more detail on things as well. Yeah, there's tons of stuff on YouTube as well that can help you with it. So yeah, this is a brilliant resource that I don't think a lot of people probably look at, or if they have looked at it, they might not understand it and you need another way to learn it. That's quite alright as well. Yeah, this is invaluable, this section. That's it for this video. We've gone through sort of the start menu. We've also gone through sort of new farmer, farm manager, start from scratch. And we've gone through the menu that you use in game. Now I would highly recommend doing this tutorial, as I said before. and reading the help guide so you understand loosely what you're going to do. Now, you're not going to be amazing at the game straight away. It is a total brain melt when you come on this game. There's so many things to sort of take in. You just take your time. Go through it at your own pace. No one's rushing you. And just enjoy it. That's all you can do. This game is great because you can do whatever you want to do. You can play it how you want to play it. If you want to spawn money in and just buy everything and play with big machinery, do it. If you want to start from scratch and build yourself up to bigger machinery, do it. If you just want to build a big, massive, gigantic farm in build mode, do it. It's just about how you want to play. Most of all, just enjoy the game. Now, that is going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing down below, and I will see you again at some point soon. Goodbye.